Hey fam, MarshaunO here, and I have not done a book review in quite some time, and so if you have not seen my last video, I talked about what if you said yes to your life, to your spouse, to your kids, to yourself. What if you put you on the priority list? And that video topic was inspired by this book right here, Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. Yes, that Shonda Rhimes. How to Get Away with Murder, Shonda Rhimes. Scandal, Shonda Rhimes. Grey's Anatomy, Shonda Rhimes. Also TGIT, Shonda Rhimes. Yes, that Shonda Rhimes wrote a book a few years ago, and I just happened to pick it up. Somebody recommended that I should actually read it. I have. I loved it. She is just very honest, very open. She brings us into her world. Shonda was actually a very shy girl. She was also an introvert, and you notice how I'm using the word was because of this year of yes. So she was very shy. She was introverted. She was always in her head, and hence why she has so many wonderful television shows that's been on for many seasons, because she was a person who was always the only one. So she was always the only black girl, and she was always awkward, and she did get teased. And so for her to get out of her own way, for her to be able to express herself, she decided to just write everything down. That was her freeing moment, and that was a way for her to be able to get out of feeling awkward and be able to stand in her truth, but in her story. She was allowed to be herself. She was allowed to just do her. And so all of the great TV shows, that is just something that she's been doing her entire life. If I remember correctly, she's been writing since she was about 3, but not writing. She was doing like dictations into like recorders and stuff. But when she became 11, she decided to start penning stuff down, pen and paper. And so if you have 20 years of writing under your belt, and I'm sure now it's a little bit more, 20 years of writing under your belt, by the time you put all of this wonderful stuff out into the world, you got a lot of experiences on how to tell the stories and how to bring them to life. So it is no surprise that she has all of these wonderful TV shows, and all of them are doing great. Now I have to say, I was never a Grey's Anatomy fan. I was never I was a Scandal fan, but it was after the show was over. And then it was all, I never watched, what I'm trying to say is I never watched the season when it was in season. I would always watch the season after. And then I definitely was a How to Get Away with Murder fan. And then after a while, I just don't watch a lot of TV now, so that's beside the point. So but I definitely have loved her TV shows, and I know there have been multiple people. I'm sure there's plenty of people on here who's loved her TV shows. Now back to her book. Why did she decide to write this book? She decided to write this book because she was always, again, the shy person, the introvert. She just liked to be in her head, and when it's time to go home, she want to be home, right? So she said that she was always noticing that she was always saying no to everything. Whenever there was an award show to go to, or if there was some type of party or something that they had invited her to, she was saying no to everything. And one Thanksgiving, her older sister said, like she was complaining about something, like a dinner party. No, it was an award show. That she was supposed to go to an award show, and she was complaining to one of her older sisters, and her older sister was just like, you never say yes to anything. And her older sister mumbled it. It wasn't like a direct Shonda, you never say yes to anything. It was just like she was going off on her tangent, and she heard the sister mumble, you never say yes to anything. Hence the book. She said after that Thanksgiving, a few months went by, and one day it just struck her that her sister was correct in her assessment. And so from now on, so for 1 year, hence the book, for 1 year she was going to say yes to everything. Every speaking engagement, which she said had scared her ishless, prior to now, prior to taking her year of yes on the road and saying yes to everything. She was always scared of public speaking. She was very awkward, and she just hated it. And then on top of that, she hated the way she looked because she was more overweight than she is now, and she hated her body. So she hated a lot of stuff about her, but definitely she was used to being the person that kind of shrank in the room, even though she should never have felt that way, but she felt that way, right? Just because a lot of times, and I talk about it here, when you have a lot of baggage that you have not dealt with, that stuff follows you. It never just goes away, no matter how successful these people are, successful that you get, successful that I get. If I have baggage that I'm carrying around, that I'm hunkering around with me, that baggage will be there. It's going to be right there no matter how successful I get. And in Shonda's case, no matter how successful that she had gotten and is, she still said that she always felt awkward. So she decided the year of yes was to say yes to everything that scared the ish out of her, including public speaking, including going to all of those fancy parties that she just never felt a part of, even though she had earned her way in the room. She still never felt comfortable. So she decided to say yes to everything. She's been on Jimmy Kimmel. She actually talks about that in here. She said that she was scared ishless. It's usually Jimmy Kimmel Live. And she decided, because she was so nervous about it, that they did a special broadcasting for her. It's usually in front of a live audience, hence Jimmy Kimmel Live. But she decided to say yes, but say yes in her own way, which was, I'll do the show, but it cannot be in front of a live audience, basically. And so they have pictures of it in here. You can go and look it up online, but it's just her and Jimmy Kimmel talking. And but it was a live show, just not in front of a live audience. She also did speeches for several colleges, but the one that stands out to me, I'm pretty sure, is Dartmouth. And she's also an alumnus from Dartmouth as well. And so she said that she was scared ishless. She had wrote all of this stuff, and that just didn't seem like it was her. And on her way going to the to Dartmouth, flying there, she decided to write her speech on a napkin or paper towel or something like that. And then she said, she told herself, this is it. This is it. I am not writing. I'm not going to obsess about it. It's going to come out the way that it's going to come out. And then when she got on stage, she basically said that this is what I want to tell you. And so she went down, and they actually have the speech in here. They have a couple of her speeches that she's now done, but it was all during this year that she said yes to her life. The year that she said yes to her owning herself, the year that she decided to lose a lot of weight, the year that she decided to go to the parties, the year that she decided to say, everything that scares me, I am going to say yes to. One of the things that I really love in here is when she talks about her daughters. And one in particular daughter came on a night that she was supposed to go to this award show, and she was literally walking out the door with her keys. She had on her fancy ball gown dress and all this other stuff, and she was headed to the door. And one of her daughters came to her and said, "Mommy, wanna play?" And because it was during this year of yes, and she's becoming more conscious and more aware of how she's showing up to the world, she decided right then and there that she was going to be late to this award show. Mind you, she was not just going to be a guest, she was going to be a speaker. So she said, you know what? I'm basically including the year of yes. Anytime my child or children ask to play, no matter what I am doing, I am going to stop and play. And I thought that scene was just so beautiful, because I could just imagine she's painting the picture of how she's still overweight at this time, and so she has on the corset, and so of course it's not something that you would think to get down on the floor with your child in, right? So she had on this corset underneath her ball gown dress, and she sits down as best she could. Her nanny helps her sit down, and then the child gets on there, and they're playing. They're playing. Meanwhile, she's painting the scene that her phone is buzzing, which is her publicist. He's calling, where are you? And she said, you know what? If I could say yes to everything, if I could say yes to everybody, I can say yes to my child. And anytime one of my children want to play, they come to me and say, "Mommy, want to play?" in their own way, whether they actually use those words or not, she's gonna play. no matter what. So I love the fact that she decided to choose herself. She decided to show up. She decides to use her voice. She decides to stand in her truth. And she actually decides to own all of the things that she's actually accomplished. Because for a long time, she said that she didn't even think that she was worthy enough to be in the room with all of these great people, all of these awards and all these accolades that she kept receiving. She didn't think that she believed it. She didn't believe that she should have them. And so this year of yes changed Shonda Rhimes' life just by her sister uttering those 6 words. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you read this book, especially if you're a person that usually says no. If you are a person that's looking to change your life around, and this is somebody who has done it firsthand. And just literally just a few years ago, I think that this is copyright 2015. I'm going to look it up now that I said it. I'm pretty sure it's 2015. So literally 5 years ago, Shonda Rhimes was a completely different Shonda Rhimes as we know her, and even see her today. So yes, this was done in 2015. We're now in 2020. Right? So 5 years ago, or even before that, because you got to write the book. So whatever. The point is, just a short few years ago, the Shonda Rhimes that we now see, the blossom Shonda Rhimes with the beautiful skin, with the beautiful hair, and just, very happy, blossomy, was not that same person her entire life. So if you need some encouragement, I totally encourage you to pick up The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. This is such an awesome book. It is such an awesome testimony. It actually comes with some of the pictures of the things that she's actually done, the award shows, her old college pictures, some of her people, her tribe that she calls her tribe that goes everywhere, her parents, and then some cast from her shows and stuff, and they're in color. This is the picture that's actually on the back that I totally love of her. Like, totally love. You can see her beautiful skin and the smile, the hair, but she said she had to work at this person. She totally had to work for this person to be this person. But saying yes to herself, saying yes to her children, saying yes to their life, saying yes to her shows, and then even being able to use the word no, because she's also been a person, for lack of better words, her friends used to say that she would be like a pushover, or people could run over her. And now that is not the Shonda Rhimes that they know, like, and love today, which they love even more because they knew it was always in her. But now she actually uses the power of no. No is a complete sentence. Please understand that you do not have to explain anything else after no if you don't want to. It is a complete sentence. No means no. She actually even talks about how the fact once she started earning money, right? You know how people come out of the woodwork when you broke, don't nobody know you. But then as soon as you start making a little change, she said that she was starting to get a whole bunch of those phone calls coming. And so how she had to learn how to use the power of no with some of her really, really close friends, or friends that she thought were friends. And then she had to turn them down and even severed some friendships because they were just in her pockets, and she had to put a stop to all of that. So I'm telling you, listen, if you need some empowerment, if you need some encouragement, if you need to start saying yes to yourself, then pick up Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. I love this book so much. And a lot of the stuff don't even apply to me, but I just love it. I love how she chose her life, how she's standing in her truth, how now she accepts and loves all of her quirks, shyness, saying no, saying yes, just her entire journey. She owns it now, and we can all see it. Let me know down in the comment section below what you thought of this book, especially if you read it. And if you have not read it, are you going to pick up this book? Let me know. Let's continue the conversation down below. If you want to hear more book reviews, then go ahead and hit the red subscribe button or the icon with my lovely face. And I will see you guys very, very, very soon. Bye, y'all.